NASCAR is yet again caught up in another controversy. Despite offering us interesting racing, it appears to be that causing a weekly controversy is the only way to stay relevant these days. So yet again, they found a way to put a bad spin on last weekend's race. This time, Cindric got a break in his terrible 2025 season sequence of nothings when he received a free out-of-jail car, avoiding a one-week vacation for purposefully turning Ty Dillon at the Circuit of the Americas. Normally you'd say this isn't a bad thing. However, a suspension seemed to be the right decision in this case, which NASCAR endured. And this controversial decision has not gone down well with the NASCAR community. So, have they completely lost it? And how will the drivers respond? Is everything fair game nowadays? Let's dive into NASCAR's latest controversy. It's safe to say that Austin Cindric has had a difficult start to the 2025 season. He was wrecked out of the lead on the final lap of the Daytona 500, and again with 3 laps remaining in Atlanta. COTA offered no comfort as Cindric began the race toward the rear of the field, and frustration rapidly escalated into an incident that caused NASCAR officials to pause and resulted in a behavioral penalty for the driver of the number 2 Team Penske Ford. Despite losing points and money, he avoided a suspension, which caused major controversy. Cindric's emotions got the best of him as Ty Dillon shoved him wide in the early stages. He reacted almost instantly, purposefully turning Dillon to the right on the front stretch, leading him to collide with the outside wall as other cars took evasive action. Historically, intentional occurrences in which a driver is right-hooked into a wall result in suspensions, but Cindric avoided this fate. Cindric was saved a one-week vacation because the event did not result in a caution, and the damage was minor due to the slow pace. However, NASCAR has decided to punish Cindric 50 driver points and fine him $50,000. The point penalty drops him from 11th to 36th in the championship rankings. NASCAR has recently taken a dim view of right-hooking drivers into the wall as a form of retribution. In 2022, Bubba Wallace was suspended for hooking Kyle Larson into the outside wall at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Chase Elliott was suspended in 2023 after committing the identical offense against Denny Hamlin at Charlotte Motor Speedway. However, in 2025, a ban would have an even greater impact due to new playoff waiver regulations that were introduced before the start of the season. If a driver misses a race due to a ban, they may still be eligible for the playoffs through a waiver, but they will lose all of their playoff bonus points and any future playoff points they accumulate prior to the playoffs. And this seemed to be the reason why race bans are not going to come easy from this year onwards. However, this caused a controversy. Is everything fair game now? Can a driver just take a points hit if they're comfortable up front in the standings? According to the drivers, Cindric got lucky, and Kyle Busch even believes Cindric got off lightly, he said Wednesday on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio. "I think intent is intent. I do not agree with the call there," Busch said. "Don't care where it is. Daytona, Martinsville, Watkins Glen, and it's not his first time either. He got off with that one." According to NASCAR's new waiver regulation, if a driver needs a waiver for a non-medical reason, they will lose all of their playoff points for the season. This includes whatever playoff points a driver has accumulated to that date, as well as any future points earned. The regulation extends to suspensions as well. NASCAR explained that the race was held on a road course with lower speeds and narrower boundaries. Thus, no suspension was required. The incident also did not raise a red flag, which helped. Jeff Gluck of The Athletic responded to the ruling quickly. Gluck said that NASCAR issued an inconsistent ruling based on its new waiver rule. This was the first test of NASCAR's new waiver rule that removes all playoff points for the regular season in the event of a suspension, explains Gluck. From my view, NASCAR made an inconsistent ruling that raises more questions about when RR hooks are suspension-worthy and when they aren't. However, there are a few recent occurrences that lend credence to the notion that NASCAR is consistent. In fact, 2 of them occurred just last year. One incident involved Carson Hocevar right rear hooking Harrison Burton while under warning. The other was Austin Dillon catching Denny Hamlin from the right rear. Neither driver faced a suspension. And at least in Hocevar's case, the wreck occurred at a lower speed, which was consistent with the reasoning behind the Dillon finding. NASCAR provided the following reasons as to why Austin Cindric was not suspended. The race was already on a road track with lower speeds and tighter constraints, and the incident did not result in a yellow flag. In any case, Cindric will feel the consequences of the penalty. Quite a bit. but other drivers still felt cheated. So when the penalty was announced, NASCAR clarified why Cindric was not banned. Driver was traveling at a slower pace on the road course versus an intermediate superspeedway. Fox Sports Motorsports reporter Bob Pockris wrote on X, "Dillon had no significant impact or damage, was able to drive on, no caution. A one-race suspension did not feel appropriate." Mike Ford, NASCAR's managing director of racing communications, discussed the Austin Cindric penalty on the Hauler Talk podcast. "The reason we landed on a points and fine, we take every situation, every violation as its own unique incident, and I know probably fans don't love hearing that sentence, and it's said a lot," Ford said. "But it's said because it has to be said. It's said because it's true. Sure, we do look at past instances to help inform us, educate ourselves on how we should handle each subsequent one. But each incident is very different. Maybe not very different, but each is at least a little bit different and oftentimes very different. In this case, we did feel it was significantly different than the previous two. And the reasons are, you look at it, it is at a road course with lower speed, tight confines to begin with, and the result didn't even draw a caution. Now, obviously the caution flag doesn't come out as quickly on road courses anyway, but that did not draw a caution. So, those were really the reasons why we chose to err on the side of letting him race this weekend in Phoenix." Cindric was expected to be punished for one race because to previous actions taken by NASCAR in comparable instances. NASCAR suspended Bubba Wallace in 2022 after he hit Kyle Larson. In 2023, Chase Elliott was suspended for wrecking Denny Hamlin. Ford cited two incidents: Chase Elliott hooking Denny Hamlin in 2023 and Bubba Wallace catching Kyle Larson in 2022. Elliott and Wallace were both suspended for one race. Cindric was fined $50,000 and docked 30 driving points. Ford understands that fans will be frustrated that Cindric was not suspended, but he believes NASCAR made the right decision. "When I hit social media after this penalty is announced, my guess is that there's going to be several people who'll feel this is the wrong call, and it may not be the popular call," Ford said. "When we look at penalties, we do not really care how popular we are. We try to do the right thing here. What we felt was the right thing was this penalty. We felt that if we suspended him, the punishment wouldn't fit the crime. It was probably going to be too severe of a punishment. We felt the right thing to do was hit his wallet, hit his points wallet, and fine him $50,000 and 50 driver points." Although NASCAR felt that this penalty was the right thing to do, it's clear the other drivers don't feel that way. So, what about you? Are you okay with Cindric being able to race this weekend? Do you understand NASCAR's reasoning, or are you on the side of the drivers who feel cheated by NASCAR in yet another controversy? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.